I agree. I will tell you that when I was doing my time in the service, and the stuff I saw, some of it I couldn't explain, like lights in the sky during firefights, like orbs or lights that would be the size of a softball that looked that size looking up in the sky but making weird noises. And even going to Iraq myself and being near Haditha Dam and seeing the prisoners underneath the dam, and the prisoners would scream and there'd be this awful feeling underneath the dam, and then later finding out in the Bible that an angel's locked underneath there where it talks about.
And this Haditha Dam is the Euphrates.
Is Euphrates,
and there's an angel supposedly locked underneath the Euphrates.
Correct.
Which is released in the book of Revelation.
Correct.
That's bizarre. So you're actually at this site, and soldiers are being locked, imprisoned underneath the Haditha Dam.
Correct.
And they're freaking out.
They're freaking out. They said they could feel it. In fact, the people who would guard them would draw straws to see who would actually take them.
No one wanted to go down.
Nobody wants to go down.
That spirit too, man. Just look yourself. What the hell you gotta turn your face into an alien for? Right? Go ahead. Go ahead, Esau. Snowden.
So, I want to know more about the Jewish history. I'm Persian. So, what's going on with Iran and Israel? Why do they keep this thing running? What's that heritage about?
Because give me Zechariah, I think it's 11 and 2. Because see, the Lord said, first of all, they're not the real Jews. Nope. So the Lord said, until the right people get back in the land, there's always going to be tension over that land. Because they're not the real Jews. They adopted our identity in the 8th century. All right, AD, under the Sephardim and Ashkenaz, and they're not the real people. So them being in the land is actually a curse to them.
World War II was staged to
Matter of fact, before you
found
do that,
Israel, right?
give me Ezekiel 36 and 5. That was part of the reason. But World War II was also set up to try to bring in a new world order. But Hitler was too much of a nutcase, so they couldn't use him back then. They had to calm Hitler down because he was too much of a fanatic. So they said they went, and then it wasn't time where God said they're gonna try to implement this new world order and one world government. So it didn't work because it wasn't on the time of God. Man's going of the Lord pursuant to Proverbs 20 and 24. Right, so read what you got, brother.
Book of Ezekiel, chapter 36, verse 5.
Go ahead.
Therefore, thus saith the Lord God,
Come on.
surely in the fire of my
The
jealousy
Lord said in the fire of his jealousy, come on.
have I spoken against the residue of the heathen,
God said he spoke against the residue, the remnant of the heathen, right? Come on.
and against all
And
Idumea.
against who?
Idumea.
All Idumea. Idumea is the Greek way of saying Edom, or the biblical name for the so-called white race. Come on.
Which have appointed my
The
land
Lord said they appointed his land, go ahead,
into their possession
into their possession, go ahead.
with the joy of all their heart.
Yeah, see, that's so after the British mandate expired in the mid-1900s, they set up the state of Israel. All right? And the Lord said they appointed the land into their possession with the joy of all their heart. Come on.
With despiteful mind.
The Lord said what?
With despiteful
The
mind.
Lord said then the spiteful minds. Come on.
To cast it out for prey.
The Lord said to cast it out for prey. He said the land would be like for prey. Like now, something that's been recently happening in years, these African refugees have been coming to Israel. And the Israelis have been chasing them out, calling them niggers, get out of our land, when they don't belong in the damn land.
That's right.
We should be calling them white niggas and tell them to get out.
That's right.
That's what Ben Ami Carter should have did when they went over there. When they went over there, they should have told the white Jews, you niggas get out of our land. But now you got these Sudanese coming over there. They running from the Sudan because they're refugees and the war and the fires and the bombs that's going on in Sudan. So they flee into Israel. Europe is not taking them no more. So now they got to flee to Israel, and the Israelis are saying, you niggas get out of our land. But the Lord said the land, it would be a problem in that land because the heathen have appointed it into their possession. Right, come on.
Verse 6. Prophesy therefore concerning the land of Israel.
God, now give one more. Give me, drop that. Give me Zechariah 12 and 3. Even though that's good too, but I want to get to another point. Give me Zechariah chapter 12 and verse 3. So there will always be tension over that land, and there will always be tension with the Arab nations, because the Lord prophesied about how Ishmael is a wild man. His hand would be against every man would be against his. Allahu Akbar. All right, throwing rocks over there in the West Bank. The Palestinians.
What's inside
Right?
the Bible? What's inside the
Hold on 1 second. Right, go, brother, read.
Book of Zechariah, chapter 12, verse 2, right?
Yeah, 12 and 2. 3. No, 3.
12 and 3.
Good.
And in that day will I make
The
Jerusalem
Lord said, in that day I will make Jerusalem. Go ahead.
a burning stone.
That's what Ben Ami Carter should have did when they went over there. When they went over there, they should have told the white Jews, you niggas get out of our land. But now you got these Sudanese coming over there. They running from the Sudan because they're refugees and the war and the fires and the bombs that's going on in Sudan. So they flee into Israel. Europe is not taking them no more. So now they got to flee to Israel, and the Israelis are saying, you niggas get out of our land. But the Lord said the land, it would be a problem in that land because the heathen have appointed it into their possession. Right, come on.
Verse 6. Prophesy therefore concerning the land of Israel.
God, now give one more. Give me, drop that. Give me Zechariah 12 and 3. Even though that's good too, but I want to get to another point. Give me Zechariah chapter 12 and verse 3. So there will always be tension over that land, and there will always be tension with the Arab nations, because the Lord prophesied about how Ishmael is a wild man. His hand would be against every man would be against his. Allahu Akbar. All right, throwing rocks over there in the West Bank. The Palestinians.
What's inside
Right?
the Bible? What's inside the
Hold on 1 second. Right, go, brother, read.
Book of Zechariah, chapter 12, verse 2, right?
Yeah, 12 and 2. 3. No, 3.
12 and 3.
Good.
And in that day will I make
The
Jerusalem
Lord said, in that day I will make Jerusalem. Go ahead.
a burning stone, a burdensome stone
A burdensome stone. He will make Jerusalem a burdensome stone. Go ahead.
for all people.
For who?
For all people.
For all people. He will make the land of Israel, Jerusalem, being the main city, a burdensome stone. Go ahead.
All that burden themselves
All that burden themselves, come on.
with it.
So everybody that try to inhabit that land of Israel, Jerusalem, go ahead.
All that burden themselves with it
Come on.
shall be cut in pieces.
Because they don't belong in the land. The Lord said He's going to cut them in pieces. Right? Especially when the Messiah makes a second coming. And that land is destroyed with nuclear fire. Everybody that burden themselves with that land, that try to inhabit our land, the Lord going to cut them in pieces. All right, give me Habakkuk 2. Habakkuk 2 and the last verse. Right, you said 2 and 18. What's in the Kaaba? As far as I know, the Kaaba is just one big giant stone that they worship, and they say they don't worship. They make a pilgrimage every year, and they walk around 7 times and kiss the stone, and they venerate this black meteorite that fell out of heaven. Right, that's not a living God. Right, Habakkuk 2:18. Read.
What profiteth the graven image
God.
that the maker thereof have graven it?
Graven it. The Lord
Graven
said,
it.
what profiteth the graven image that the maker thereof have graven it? Go ahead.
The molten image
Go ahead.
and a teacher of lies,
The Lord said these are images and they are teachers of lies. Go ahead.
that the maker of his work trusteth therein, to make dumb idols.
To make what?
Dumb idols.
Why are they dumb idols? Because they cannot speak, they cannot read, they cannot hear, they cannot talk. They have no life to them. It's a stone. You know? Right, go ahead.
Woe unto them that saith to the wood,
The Lord said, woe unto them that say to the wood, go ahead.
awake,
Awake, wood. Right, come on.
to the dumb stone.
To the what?
The dumb stone.
What is the Kaaba?
The dumb
To the
stone.
dumb stone, and you can't get mad, Ham, because you're no longer Muslim, you're Christian. Right, go ahead.
I'm a prophet.
Right, go ahead. No, you're prophet
I'm a
of
prophet of God. I don't believe in religion.
Right, go ahead.
Arise.
I believe as a
It
bishop.
Hold on,
shall
hold on, wait,
teach.
Ham. It shall what?
It shall
It
teach.
shall arise, it shall teach. Come on.
Behold, it is laid over with gold and
The
silver,
Lord said these idols are laid over. Get the part where it said to the dumb stone.
and there is no breath at all in the midst of it.
Go ahead.
But the Lord is in his holy temple.
You missed the part that say to the dumb stone.
I know you.
Oh, okay.
You might know.
Woe unto them that saith to the wood, awake, to the dumb stone, arise, it shall teach.
The Lord said they say to the dumb stone, arise, it shall teach that Kaaba stone. Right, go ahead. Hold on.
Thank you, my
Hold on, not yet.
Being educated right now.
Behold, it is laid over with gold and
It
silver,
said it's laid over with gold and silver. Go ahead.
and there is no breath at all in the midst of it.
So in the Kaaba is what?
There's no breath at all in the midst of it.
So there's no breath in the Kaaba stone. Right, so let's speak it up. Yo, hold
Sir,
up.
you're disturbing the.
Hold
Come
up.
on.
Hold up. Come on, man. Chill out. Suave. So, that's what you think of the Kaaba or any other idol. Man. Look at like the movie 2012. How many of y'all seen the movie 2012?
Oh, I saw that.
You seen every idol all over the world in that movie was destroyed. The Dalai Lama, right? The Catholic Church, the big statue of white Jesus in Brazil.
And a few days later, that's when Sandy happened.
Say it again.
A few days later, after that movie came out, that's when Sandy.
Bah,
took place.
shimmer my Yeah, man. So that's judgment of the Most High.
How much is fluoride keeping everyone pacified?
Excuse me.
How much is fluoride keeping everyone pacified? You talked about
Everybody's pacified or poisoned. Fluoride is actually poison.
pacified and then both.
It's poison. Right? That's what it's doing.
You tell you something. I know everybody. Somebody they came from. Praying for Jesus Christ.
Okay.
Okay.
Hallelujah. Huh?
Closes the spiritual centers down, calcifies the pineal.
I mean, we've been poisoned as a people with many different things. It's up to the Most High to protect you from any manner of poison that enters your body and keep you being able to serve. Because if that's the case, none of us will be able to use